Comic Army. My name is Chris the Comic Vet. Happy New Comic Book Day. And yeah, it's an interesting new comic book day. It's not one where you're going to be blowing your wallet wide open to get things done, to pick up all the books. It's a little bit of a lighter week. But not to take away from the fact that two very important characters had two very important books drop this week, and we'll get into that. But I got a story to tell, and I'm going to bring in my Only Slabs co-host, Rob, to tell Rob this story. This is for you, sir.
Okay, good, because I'm also looking through my books. I'm going, two? What did I miss? What did I miss?
So as you know, I was at my LCS Retro Rocket Comics to pick up my books, and Chris was working, and Chris and I were talking a little bit, and he said that that him and his lovely wife have kind of gone
Kelly,
down.
who's also in the chat.
Yeah, is she? Okay, that little bit of a YouTube wormhole lately, and they were checking out older editions of the show formerly known as Slab Hub. And and Chris was talking about it, and he said that he really enjoyed Remy's appearance, and and I gotta admit, Remy was a real good time. Remy brought out some books that
were personal.
Yes, and not necessarily ones that you would see on that show, and just to give props to Remy.
Yeah.
that he did have, he did have a couple like fun books. I think that's a good way to call it, fun books. And but yeah, so it was a good conversation that like Chris said that him and his wife have been checking a lot of YouTube and mentioned your name and some other channels.
Well, I know I see them turn up all the time, but that's just because I'm everywhere.
Yeah,
I am in your YouTubes.
It's true.
All your YouTubes belong to me.
And yeah, it was good. I always enjoy when people talk about Only Slabs.
Well, yes, because we call it Slab Hub when it was Slab Hub, and those episodes were Slab Hub, and the fact that we don't call it show that anymore doesn't matter.
But it still is. I shouldn't talk about in the past tense. It is what it is. It's just been evolved slightly. But it's always so much fun. Like it doesn't matter whether you're coming from England or Canada or the United States, where the guest is coming from is what I mean. It's always such a good time. It's always such a good time.
I do love that it's gotten to the point where instead I have a standard, like when I reach out to people, as I discover people on Instagram and I see they have extensive slabs posted and I'll reach out to them. It was a lot in the early days. There's a lot of explaining of exactly what the show is and what we're talking about doing, and I still kind of do that invite, but I get more frequently than not now. It's nice to get the response, "Oh yeah, I'm familiar with your show," and it's like, "Oh good, that makes it a lot easier." And unfortunately, it's never been a "I'm familiar with your show." Hell no, that's never been the response.
I think that's only been once, right? Like there's only been one person that said no, thank you.
Well, so there's been other people who've said no. But there's only been one person that their no was for reasons other than I don't have that many slabs, really. Yeah. And that's fine. That was the person. Well, actually, I should take that back. There's been a couple others where they were willing to come on and do it, and actually, in talking with them, I said no. Mostly just because they were no face people for right now, and. We're trying to have a conversation and get to know the collector in part of this, and I just haven't gotten to that point yet where I've seen whether or not the show would work just looking at somebody's hands or having this faceless entity stuff. So I've said, well, I'll keep you in mind if we decide to go down that route and circle back. But yeah,
and so while Chris and his wife are in the chat, I did want to point out that in front of Arthur Adams Thursday evening, when I was fanboying all over my favorite artist, someone came up and said, hey, are you guys from Cambridge? And the response was no. Cambridge, Ontario, where Retro Rocket is, because I don't live in Cambridge per se. And they said, and because I know him. My LCS recommended him, and it turns out it was a customer from Retro Rocket Comics. And this guy recognized me and said, "Hey, Chris tuned me into your channel. I got one of your little cards." And
Nice.
do I have one right here? Yeah, one of these. So yeah, I'm sorry about the young
Look at
guy's name. The young guy's name who he mentioned his name. It totally slips my mind. I apologize for that. But yeah, it's I just kind of thought, hey, there's a little bit of Retro Rocket everywhere, including Santa Clara, California.
Yeah, I have a mug and a shirt. Absolutely.
But let's get into the chat. Chris is actually the first one to say hello, Chris, my man. Hope that you're doing well. And Mars has joined us. Mars, thanks for a little bit of your time. Jay, hope that you're doing well. And that's pretty good. That's pretty good. El Green Machine, howdy y'all. Howdy, my man. Let's see. Kelly has swung by. Kelly, appreciate your time. Miss So, hope that you're doing well. It's been a while. Since I think I've seen Miss So. Cat Fan Comics Man, hello. And let's see. This really just jumped on me. And my fellow Spider-Man brother, Louis, hope that you're doing well. And yeah, and Remy's here. Did I fall asleep for a few days? Is this an episode of Soul? Hold on. We'll change that perspective right now. There we go.
Oh,
You're all fucking welcome, people.
The king of all nerds.
Yeah,
Taylor.
something like that.
Yes.
But Taylor, how you doing, man?
I would say for Chris, just so he knows,
No,
I'm fine. I will say, Chris, your books that you purchased will be coming to you probably sometime next week or so, because my Chris's comic vet only slabs jersey has arrived and is going to be shipped out to him. So that means I can now throw your comic books that you purchased in with his stuff, and he'll hand deliver them to you.
Cool.
So thank you very
Angel,
much.
hope that you're doing well. And Kevin saying that comics are lost in the mail. We'll be getting them for a while. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in case you guys, this is normally the part where I'd be like, what do you guys think of She-Hulk or Game of Thrones? But I got a little bit of a spirited debate with Burke in one of the Instagram chats where he dropped a pretty cool fact that Dark Knight is one of the Dark Knight was the most successful rated film in the 2000s. And my response, and then he turned around and made the comment, no Spider-Man movie is like that, or took a shot at Spider-Man, to which I'm not going to let that lie.
Now, did he actually back this up, or did he just burk it out?
Well, he did put the link where IMDb says this, but there is an asterisk because it's not solo number one. It's tied for number one with The Return of the King, The Lord of the Rings.
They give it to Batman because I can't stand Lord of the Rings.
So they gave it to that, and then he said, since he took a shot at Spider-Man movies, I said, hey, just let you know, Into the Spider-Verse won Best Oscar. Dark Knight didn't win anything as a film other than Best Editing. Well, and then his response was, well, that's a cartoon. And then that's when I'm like, okay, let's up the game a little bit. And then I just dropped the facts. Who has the greatest selling comic book or the highest priced comic book of all time? Amazing Fantasy 15 and the 9.6. What's the most franchisable character of all time on the planet? Spider-Man.
This is when nerds have to measure their penises.
And then we went back and forth for a bit, and then I'm just like, this is not an argument you can win. You're talking about a 1%er who runs around beating up poor people.
Did you just degrade it down to shirts should have sleeves, you son of a bitch?
No, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But that went back and forth, but yeah, it was pretty good. Some people, vocalized for Batman, some people vocalized for Spider-Man, and then Remy said something about a glory hole, and now we're here. So yeah, it was an interesting conversation. But yeah, that's in the end, people can say, oh, Batman has better stories. I will argue that. People say Batman has better Vogue's gallery. I will argue that one too. But facts are facts. The best-selling or the highest priced comic book of all time right now is Amazing Fantasy 15 and 9.6. The best-selling franchisable character that you license on anything is Spider-Man.
Turok.
He's right. It's
Also,
dramatic.
Hulk underoos are much better than either of those two. So, just saying.
But anyways, Chip, hope that you're doing well. Thanks for spending some time with us, my man. Feel free to hop on the channel if you like. But yeah, again, I know She-Hulk dropped last Thursday. We haven't collectively had a chance to talk about it in this setting. I know Taylor's talked about it, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I'm still liking it better than Moon Knight.
Content.
Yeah, I'm liking it better than Moon Knight.
Well, that's not hard. Yeah, whatever.
I've been up and down YouTube telling people that you got it's a serial product, a show. Like it's not episodic. So you have like as in one episode goes to the next. It's a single story.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, it's difficult to judge a segment. It's like saying, well, how is Lord
I do that every week.
Well, I've read chapter 2, and let me tell you, it's horrible.
Yeah, welcome to
the pacing,
but they're all
serial
products.
Thanks for coming by.
When you look at most things, you take it as a body of work. But people talk about a regular book. They don't sing. They don't review it chapter by chapter. And you're taking a show like this, and people are making these massive judgments about whether or not a show is good or not, and based off of a chapter essentially. And it's what has it done? It has introduced us to a character. It's provided a backstory. It's provided a motivation. It's set up the situation, and now we're getting ready to go into the next phase.
Is correct. It has done the bare minimum.
Right. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that but it's done more than a lot of shows.
Yeah.
It's
not really.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you this way: the first 2 episodes are better than The Last Jedi.
But what I'm saying is,
Last Jedi was the best of those new 3 films.
It may not be the greatest television ever made. It's also not
finished.
Some of the dog crap that people are saying it is.
It's fine. It's not made for comic
right.
nerds.
Let's see what it is, and go from there.
Yeah.
Find this out, Taylor Winder.
I'm enjoying it.
Every comic you just described, reviewing every single monthly comic book.
And look, I will be the first to tell you, I can't stand that fandom that eats its own. As a member of the Star Wars fandom, we're like some of the worst that there is, and I get on them all the time because they always compare everything to A New Hope, and I'll be the first one in line to say, have you watched it lately? Because A New Hope isn't that glorious thing that you think it was either. It had many great elements, but there's a lot of stupid stuff in it as well. Stop looking past that and thinking that you're just because you look through the world through rose-tinted glasses. So I just like to look at things at their totality rather than a fractional piece of it and try to make a total judgment is all.
Says the guy with a whole lot of slab fractions behind him.
I think the covers are all great.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
It's all right. It's harmless and it doesn't eat up a lot of your time.
It's saccharine. And that's fine. Yeah. That's what I need to take a break from end of month processing contracts and stuff. She-Hulk is a distraction.
When I'm not watching hardcore porn, I take 20 minutes out of my day every week to watch She-Hulk.
Well, there you are. You need a refractory.
By hardcore porn, I mean only slabs. Saturday afternoon.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Comic book porn.
Yeah. Well, the comic book
1:30 Eastern. 2:30 Eastern.
This was a bad week for comics. So.
Yeah, I refer to it as a light week, but yeah,
but even the ones that showed up were not good.
Whoever did that ding right there, that was good timing. But
that's my phone. I got email. You get the Mario coin.
There's a couple interesting books that came out. There's some potential interesting stories that came out. We'll get into that one. Are either of you watching House of the Dragon?
No. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I mentioned this last week, I think on Mark's channel, but the one thing that watching this made me realize is how much I actually missed Game of Thrones. And when they fired up the second episode with the theme and everything, I was just like, oh.
I think they realized the audience nice too. I think they were just hedging their bets as to whether or not they used that theme song.
Yeah. But yeah, they So I'm guessing then the Jon Snow spinoff, whenever it shows up later on this millennium, it'll have the same thing.
Yeah, that I'm not looking forward to because it seems like his story's done.
Yeah, well, of all the spin-offs, if they wanted to do one of the Stark children, I think maybe Arya's story could have been a little bit more.
All Jon Snow did was look sad
Interesting.
for 8 seasons. I mean, he didn't do much.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Aw.
But yeah, they like Kelly just pointed out, the theme was back. Yeah. I quietly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the theme, and it was an okay episode. It's not. It doesn't have the person. I mean, they're doing their best with personal details. I just don't find any of the new characters that engaging yet.
Yeah, obviously it's not like the first season of Game of Thrones where we had Ned and the Drunk King, and just this right now we have a king that doesn't know which way to turn, and he at the right moments he decides to be his own man, but most of the time we've got all ears.
We got Jimmy Carter in charge of the
kingdom. Yeah, he's got.
Oh, he's been working on houses, huh?
Even as a Canadian, I understood that reference.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a one-term king.
It's pretty accurate too. Like, I mean, it's just got like everyone's picking for that throne because he's a nice dude, and nice dudes don't stay king.
Right, and like Chip's saying that he'd like the new ones for it. Yeah, I think both Taylor and I are really enjoying it. It still has to find its footing. I still think Matt Smith is an interesting villain. I like him so far, but it's not necessarily difficult to be, a bad Targaryen, because the Mother Dragon's brother played a bad Targaryen really, really good until he had a bunch of gold dripped on him, and that was the end of it.
Episodes are a little disconcerting, and I think they're going to do that again for the next one. So
okay, but it's again, when you see high production value and good storytelling, this is usually the end result, and it's been good so far.
They gotta have that dude with crab storyline go faster than the White Walkers, because otherwise, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a little bit of that Predator mask going on too.
Yeah, I can't. My camera does not work well on someone else's StreamYard flow. I don't understand why that is. It's got to filter through Canada and back. So
yeah, Flo, my man. Hope that you're doing well. He came for comics. Let's get into comics then. Okay, since I'm in the hot spot here, I'll go first. And again, just because I've got their very cool logo right now, and I'm going to pimp the hell out of small business, I picked up my comics today at my LCS. Retro Rocket Comics with this very cool design. Rob loves Bubble Girl, astronauts, helmets, and he's got stuff from this place already. But yeah, all joking aside, Retro Rocket Comics, if you guys ever hit the Greater Toronto area as a tourist, take the half hour, 40 minutes to make a drive out to Cambridge and support some small business. Chris is an incredibly friendly guy, incredibly knowledgeable when it comes to comic books and history of comic books and creators of comic books. I can guarantee if you go in for 10 minutes, you'll be there for an hour. It's a real cool shop.
I don't know if I go into a comic book shop and the people behind the counter aren't going to berate me for not knowing some esoteric character. I'm not sure it's the right comic book shop for me.
Wow.
We'll berate you online, Rob.
says with a sense of sarcasm. But
yes. This is the guy that didn't realize the Steranko Hulk cover came many years before.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
There's your daily beratement, Rob.
Or you don't care.
Yeah.
If that was a question on rigged, the other guy would have got it, I guess.
Yeah. No, well,
So
sometimes you don't care.
We need to have Rig the sequel come back, but I don't have the energy for it. So
talk about high production.
You don't have the energy to have somebody else do all the work while you just sit there and.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking energy sitting there. And just ask Chris.
Only slaps.
Oh, you do a lot more than just sit there.
When the show goes Pokemon, hop on the back.
You look pretty too.
Yeah. It was my job to insult the guests, which made me many friends in this community.
Interesting factoid: Chris, the owner of Retro Rocket Comics, actually is educated as an animator, and a few new free comic book days ago.
Is that the feature of my daughter, my youngest's feature?
Owning a comic shop?
Could be.
It's called "What Dad Left Behind When He Kicked the Bucket."
There is a small printing company in Ontario called Studio Comix, and there is an ongoing series called The Night Spike, and the creator of The Night Spike, I'm going to quote this man properly here, Alfonso Espinoso, was the writer, and I believe the artist as well. He approached Chris and said, "Are you interested in doing a variant cover for my free comic book day edition of The Night Spike?" So Chris went ahead and did the cover, and apparently it's only 200 copies were made, and Chris was kind enough to give me one. This is again from 2015, so a few free comic book days ago. But he did this cover in a kind of a quiet homage to Scotty Young. So you can see Chris's logo girl right there behind, I believe, the main character from the Night Spike. And Chris was nice enough to write a little private note on the back. I'm not going to get into that. But this character here, her name is Belle. And again, Chris's logo, the bubble girl, kind of turned them down into like kids a la Scotty Young. And so yeah, it was a very nice gift. So Chris, thank you very much for your generosity. I had no idea that you were this talented, my man. That's pretty nice. So that's going right into the PC. And my wallet today is happy. However, I did buy a big boy variant, and I'm sure Rob picked up the same thing. Maybe not. We'll get into that. But the second arc of House of Slaughter is killing the first arc of House of Slaughter. I know Taylor's probably a little bit more judgmental than I am.
I didn't get it. I stopped giving a shit.
Okay. This whole custodian of history for the House of Slaughter being out in the real world dealing with monsters, it's an enjoyable read for me. Ant-Man 2, new suits or new Ant-Man, and this is the variant cover featuring the new suit or the new Ant-Man. Let's see where it goes. I might be wrong. This was actually a candidate for my hot pick of the week. It's the new Thunderbolts team. And this is the David Nakayama cover. Kind of got that little bit of that Gwenverse flavor to it. And again, I'm carrying on with these Harley Quinn homages to famous Batman covers through time, and it's that Jim Lee cover being homaged here with Harley here. This is the Harley Quinn annual.
Does that rank with it as a famous Batman cover? I guess.
I kind of prefer the Superman one, I'll be honest, but yeah. It's I don't know, dude, what do you think is more famous? This one by the original by Jim Lee, or say that Jock one of the Joker for Detective Comics where it's all the bats and everything?
Oh, the Jock.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, a few of these homages ago was the homage to Batman 1, that yellow one that had like a little bit of an aged look to her or whatever. I actually got Stephanie Phillips to sign that for me at Fan Expo. And well, my hot pick was Kel Surprise, Amazing Fantasy 1000. If you didn't pick up Amazing Fantasy 999, you are not going to know anything that happens in this book. I'm sorry. But if you can find it, good for you. But if you don't have Amazing Fantasy 999, you just wasted your money on this square-bound book. Mark's hot pick, Kel Surprise, was World War Apocalypse Superman #1. This is a one-shot concluding that pretty good storyline in Action Comics where Kal-El is off on Warworld taking on Mongol, or the latest avatar of Mongol. And yeah, it's as a fan of Superman, as it's pretty good. As a fan of Superman, it's been really good storytelling. And I did go a little. I did spend a little bit of money on Amazing Fantasy 1000. Wow. I picked up the Peach variant.
That's a store exclusive, right? For somebody.
This is a store exclusive, and I can't say I'm a Peach Momoko hardcore fan. I do like a lot of her stuff. This is what I'm kind of on the fence about. However, I'm sure Rob can attest to this. This has a lot of good signing space because I know that she signs her name in kanji. So I'm thinking up here it may look really, really cool.
You know,
You
legit,
send,
when it,
send it off real quick. There's a Peach Momoko signing at CGC in-house
there you go.
next month in September.
Okay.
When I saw that on the thumbnail, I didn't bother to enlarge it. I legit thought that spider was sideburns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A mole, a hairy mole.
yeah.
Mole.
Yeah, it's an interesting take on
alright.
almost like Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's I got it because I think it might be something good to get autographed.
Oh.
And Flo's
She doesn't
saying
do it.
AF99 is like the 13th floor in some
Yeah.
buildings. Yeah, you may stumble into it or you may not. It just may not exist in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah,
Peach
that
will be
was
at- Flo says Peach will be at New York Comic Con. I did not
okay.
know that. Well, I guess she's here.
Cool.
Yeah, she's coming over here for some because she doesn't come over here all that often. But
No, and with COVID and everything, she may not have even had desire to go anywhere or the
Right,
freedom
well,
to do so.
yeah.
Who
because I know that
knows?
I know up until this point, all the signings that I had of Peach were ones that had to be facilitated where they were shipping stuff to her in Japan and then getting it back and stuff. So this one is the first time that I've been able to send it here in the States, and which was important because it was important to get one more book signed by her, only because my Peach Momoko cover variant of Strange Academy issue 1 was signed by both Scotty and Ramos. So it needed Peach's signature now to complete the trifecta. So
But yeah, I think Chop and Drop hit the nail on the head. He likes Peach's arts, but not her comic art. Love Japanese art styles, but her covers are hit or miss. I think that sums it up perfectly. I think no one would ever doubt her water paint artwork. It's only second to Taylor Winder in my opinion, but it's hit and miss when it comes to certain cover work that
I
she
love
does.
her sketch work. Her sketch covers to me are the best because she doesn't erase. She doesn't give you a final tracing, which is what a lot of sketch covers are. She gives you all the layers, the red lines, the blue lines, the everything, and so you can really dig into the process that went into creating that. And I have not found. I don't care what it is. Every one of those sketch covers is just so unique because nobody else really does that. That I find them fascinating as hell.
Yeah. Steve's still at work and he's still incorrect, but thanks for stopping by, Steve. Brian LCS, my man, hope that you're doing well. And Flo saying the Burt bot is back. And
well, as long as Brian LCS is here, we should remind everybody, don't forget, you should go to cbcawards.org and vote in the comic book community awards. It doesn't matter who you vote for.
True.
All of us here. But you can vote for anyone you want. We don't really care. Just go ahead and vote. Make sure that your voice is heard. Otherwise, don't complain later when you don't like the results.
Yeah, it's for those of you that haven't voted, if you check the description of this video, I do have a link to go to the CBC Awards. There's a lot of good creators that put out a lot of fantastic stuff. It's try not to make it a popularity contest. Try to investigate everything that's nominated or all the channels that are nominated and go forth that way.
Yeah, links are all right there on the website.
With that being said, I will drop this announcement. A couple days ago, I hit 800 subscribers. What I'm going to be, thank you. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to borrow Gary B's brilliant idea, and what I'm going to do is do a Grow Together initiative. And I'm going to spotlight the 5 channels that are actually nominated for the best channel under 100 subscribers at the time of the nomination. I'm going to throw a handful of other channels that I quietly enjoy that could use a friendly subscriber knot. And just let everyone know, you expect that video in the next couple days. I will spotlight the stuff I plan on giving away for that 800 subscribe milestone. But what I'm going to be doing, like I said, is I'm going to actually mimic what Mark did. I believe when Mark hit 800 subscribers, he decided to share some other channels that he enjoys, and then once they hit a certain target, give away a bunch of stuff in their honor. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. for sure the 5 channels that are nominated for best channel under 100 subscribers. And like I said, a handful of other channels that I think could use a little boost as well that I enjoy. Those are going to be the ones that I spotlight. So yeah. And thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. And Flo, I agree. I don't know if I agree about one nominee, but I do agree that could be an interesting category. Rob, my man.
Hi, how are you?
Show us what you got.
Oh, okay. Well, I picked up Last Spot Standing, the finale in the series.
That's a fire cover.
It was, but kind of a little bit of a letdown in the end after having read through it and been kind of enjoying it. Now I kind of got to the end of it and said, well, it's just another book I read. Star Wars Obi-Wan.
Those continue to have great covers.
Yeah, well, this is the one I'm really excited to get into reading just because I've had fun with anything that's not just because it's I like Harley and it's not the normal run. This is back to the animated run. So this is the animated series, real superheroes or real sidekicks of New Gotham Special 1. Just kind of dug the covers, B cover, kind of doing a Thelma Louise sort of thing.
Definitely Thelma and Louise.
The annual Brown Coats Forever. The
you got the J. Scott Campbell. Nice.
Well, this is just the regular J. Scott Campbell one. There's like 3 variants or something, and like 1 in 100 and 1 in 200. I didn't get any of those. So I just got the regular J. Scott Campbell. Yeah.
Okay, so he does have a little bit of a background in that with that building there. When I first saw it online, I thought it was just like a little bit of a white background, but I see now that he's got some background there. Nice.
Yeah, I think the white background one, sometimes you might be confused, is the forthcoming Spider-Man 1.
Right.
Which is the main cover is, or there's a cover that's just Spider-Man on a white background. And the last book I picked up, very unexciting, not a new recent book, but I just ordered it because it was available when I was going through previews. I was just searching for some blanks, and there was a John Carter of Mars #1 blank. So I picked it up because anytime I can get any kind of sci-fi related blank, I like to obviously get my sci-fi sketches. So this will work well for somebody. I find some artist or somebody who'd sketch me, I don't know, some Mars Attacks something or something else, whatever. That is it.
Yeah, that's
very
John Carter is on Behemoth now.
I don't even know. I've never read it.
Well, if you look,
I really bought it. I bought it strictly just for it being a blank cover of a comic that says Mars on it, so it's related to space. So I can do something with like Mars Attacks or something. That's all.
Yeah, right on 800. I literally hopped on that White Big Events and I haven't moved since.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chip. I'm now chasing you. So congratulations, sir. And Chris.
Yeah, it's Dynamite Comics.
He's Dynamite.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I didn't realize that's what you meant. So, yeah, it says Dynamite right on it. I didn't realize that's what you were asking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought maybe it was Behemoth or whatever. Yeah, I remember picking up dollar bin books of Marvel when it was, Edgar Rice Burroughs, John Carter Mars, when Marvel was doing it back in the late 70s, finding those books, on the discount racks, whatever, in the 80s when I was spending my own money on comic books. Back then, as opposed to now when I spend all my money on comic books.
There you go.
Taylor, my man, show us what you got.
All right, so my LCS game was Red Hammer Games in Appleton, Wisconsin. Was kind enough to give me a few copies of books that were damaged to read because it was a light week. So, but this is a weird one. Florida Man. But the weirder part is it says #1. This is issue #2.
That's so Florida.
Yeah. The Ant #5. You have to tune in to 8:30 to find out what I thought of these gems. Ravenloft number 3. These are all damaged books.
Oh, you stop that.
Hellcop number 10, which I dig the cover.
Yeah.
And then the books I paid money for. Not a lot of them. Thunderbolts number 1.
Have you read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Breakout number 3. I like the cover. Forever Forward number 1. With the soft porn lighting that I've got going on right now. Yeah, it's like a
Vaseline.
I Vaseline the camera up just for you guys. Variants number 3. And Nightmare Sandman Universe Nightmare Country number 5. I did not pick up Amazing Fantasy 1000 because I am so goddamn sick of $9 anthology comics with shitty stories. And I didn't pick up a Superman World of Warcraft or whatever it is because I just haven't been following the title, so I just didn't care. So that's it. It's a light week. I probably will not do my top 5 Substack this week because yeah.
So Joe was saying that 1 and 2 of Florida Man was a fun read. I'm presuming it's going to have to be fun. Like what was?
I mean, it chains together all these Florida memes and tries to wrap it on a run character. It's not what you'd call a good book or a good story, even. Like, there's stuff that happens in this issue that, like, 10 events. Each of these events would make a good would make a single issue, and they just crammed it all into one issue. I was like, what?
Does anybody take bath salts and go on a crazy murdering rampage?
I mean, pretty much.
Eat other people.
I think they're saving that for issue number 3, the first page, and they'll have 14 other stories.
Nice.
Let's see. Cole just said, unless it has a Tom King story, it's not really worth it for me. In reference for an anthology thing. Tom King, by the way, was at Fan Expo Canada this past weekend, and let me tell you, he does not sign free autographs.
Well, that son of a bitch.
For those of you that are interested in Tom King autograph, make sure you bring money.
Yeah.
And even more money if you want to get it slabbed up.
How much was he charging?
I think he was charging $8 an autograph, and if you want it slabbed, possibly 20.
Yeah,
Either way, I looked at it and said
the $20 figure. I've seen a lot when people, if you come by with a witness for some of these guys, and I was like, okay, I guess they're seeing it because there are enough people going around and trying to get stuff signed and stuff to flip it. But man, as a person who just collects those things for myself, I feel like I'm bringing you one book. And I feel like I'm wronged here, John.
Well, we're talking like $8 Canadian, right? No, I mean, like that's like $5 US. That's not bad.
That's more like $6.50.
That's about what it costs to get his signature on a book over at when you go buy them already pre-signed with a COA from Midtown Comics.
I mean, it is a latte.
But here's the thing. When you put Tom King up against some of the other creators that were there, i.e. Arthur Adams, i.e. James Tynan, and all the artists that work for in Tynan's house, they all signed for free, and they all had like up to X amount of books for free, and even the Miranda brothers, if you want to go like. People who may need the money for and that's I just find it.
So everybody keeps telling me about like, John Jang, it's just
sore point there. But yeah, it's Cole saying he used to sign free autographs for the first 3. Now again, Fan Expo claims to be the 3rd largest Comic-Con in North America. When you buy ticket sales. Size, it might be, I don't know, it depends, whatever year. But Fan Expo Toronto is known to be one of the more expensive cons to attend. And maybe he's just capitalizing on that, or maybe his appearance fee was less than what he thought and he had to try and recoup it or whatever. But
maybe he just wants making more money.
If he wants to make more money, go ahead. But like I said, when you compare it to other creators that were there, that were signing for free. Okay. Now, but that being said, there were other artists.
He's ex-CIA. He probably just hates Canada.
Stop it. Hates Canada.
He does what he wants.
That must hurt just a little bit to say hates Canada. Like, come on. Come on. But But though there were other creators there that were charging. Canadian Jason Fabok was charging. Greg Capullo was charging. Ken Lashley was signing for free. Like I said,
It's always a mix.
Yeah, it's pick and choose. If you're there on a budget, there are people that sign for free. I just went with One Bad Day, that the Riddler book that came out last week, hoping to get that signed and talk a little bit about the book with Tom King. And unfortunately, I didn't have a budgeted that way where I wanted to drop X amount of dollars, because it wasn't just that one book I went with for Tom King. I did bring a couple Batcat books. But whoa. So Cole just dropped something. This is at C2E2 where Mark Miller?
It's Miller.
I know. I think he prefers Miller. Charge $100 for a signature. Now, is that just like on a raw book, or is that like CGC, like going to be slabs or something, Cole?
That's him. He's got to shrink his giant ego down to fit on a comic cover. So that takes some doing.
Like, you can get like former Heisman winners on a full-size football helmet for less than $100.
Yeah, but
have they had comics turned into shitty Netflix shows? I don't think so.
Liefeld probably does the same thing. So is
Liefeld's not $100 though, is he?
I don't know what he was charging, but I know.
Yeah.
But if he thought he could, he would.
Yeah.
And Chip says, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, well, there you go, because that's what happens, right? It's the when they're not being equitable. That's what bugs me. When I get a whole bunch of people get John Jang autographs for free, then he charges me $20. I don't like that either.
He didn't like the cut of your mustache.
$20.
Was it 20?
Yes. After I dropped to 200 plus on the stuff from him.
So
he's like, that.
Chip, what's the truth, Chip?
Oh, I was teasing. Oh,
okay.
Just messing with Cole.
How you doing, Chip?
I'm like Rob, who did get overcharged.
Yeah.
The only thing
talk about that.
The only thing I can think of is either one of two things. Either one, he honestly didn't. He just thought, "Man, I hate that guy," or two, he goes, "Oh, well, I don't care that you're buying stuff from me. You brought a witness because I was having the comic book I bought from him, witnessed." But again, even still, I'm buying the book from you at whatever it was, $60 or something like that, for a issue that I'm paying for a single issue. Yeah. Then he's going to tack on another $20 to sign it, and I'm buying a print from him that was like freaking $200. I don't know what it was, but it was like I spent over $200 with the guy.
Old man yelled at Cloud over and over again.
Yeah, I think it would have had more to do with the mustache, and he thought you were the Monopoly man, and
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about living in the Bay Area together. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he goes, "Oh, maybe I'll drive it down to you." Yeah, no, he didn't. He then billed me for shipping.
Yeah, exactly. Gas.
Yeah, it's if you don't want to do signature prices,
that's true.
It's hard to send.
That's I don't want to sign it price. Yes, I give a lot of I don't want to sell it prices out people about my comics, so I understand. I know a few LCSs that have that too. I don't want to sell it prices on all their books.
But yeah, there was a couple other creators that I really wanted to meet Fan Expo. One was Leah Bermeo. I know you guys have been on my channel. I talk about Bermeo's work a lot, and In Hyuk Lee. And I can say this both. I never put eyes on either one of those men at their booths. In fact, I never saw In Hyuk Lee at all. Period, at any point during Fan Expo. And the only time I actually saw Lee Bermeo is when I was in conversation with Arthur Adams. Lee Bermeo came up, cut into the conversation, turned around and left.
That line jumping influencer.
But yeah, it's yeah, but but I don't want to make this sound negative. I actually really enjoyed the time meeting the Miranda brothers in person and then talking to them about Volume 2 and what they did with one of their main characters. Was really interesting to talk about. To talk with Tynan with no one behind me, and in what I mean, like no big line. Talk to him about something that's killed in the children, how much I appreciate it, and then to ask him talk about DC versus vampires a little bit as well, and tell him straight up, man to man, I'm the biggest champion you'll ever meet when it comes to DC versus vampires. He had a little laugh at that, but I asked him, I know that you've returned to Wind. Is this actually your biggest passion project? Is this the one you enjoy the most? And his answer was the one that a lot of rock and roll musicians say, I can't just pick one of my children. I love them all equally.
Yeah.
And but I got to admit, a lot of people were getting Wind stuff signed. I really had no idea how popular Wind really is. I've never read the book. I've seen pages, read an odd page or online, but I've never actually gone cover to cover. Taylor, have you gone through Wind?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
I enjoy it. I like it better than some of the other stuff because it actually is at a reasonably paced story.
I have all the first series of Wind.
Yeah.
I have the Peach Momoko variants that were done for each of the first issues and stuff that's signed like that. So
You are missing out.
I have not either, Miss So, because I don't care.
You are missing out too.
I don't know, I'll read it.
It's good. It is good.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
lies.
it's good. I'll tell you this. DC versus Vampires is better than anything Batman he's ever done in the last 3 years.
That's the
And here's the highlight of it all. He kills Batman. Boom. Spoiler for everybody. Sorry, Batman doesn't make it. Anyways, Chip, my man, can you show us what you got?
Damn. Guys, you guys and your freaking
Yeah, but that's still faster than more normal tiny and pasting.
All right. So I got to pick up just a bunch of stuff I didn't have the other day last week when I went. So
I've had Wind on occasion.
that
We call them tree frogs.
one. West of Sundown.
Wish he had a
That's
Miles
issue
Morales
3,
Spider-Man.
Chip.
What?
Nice.
Is that it? Well, you're gone. There you are. Issue 3 of West of Sundown?
Issue 5.
Oh, 5. Okay.
Yeah, it's 5. So, and then I ended up picking up, I don't know which one is 1 or 2. Can't remember. Oh, this book 1. Didn't pick this version up. So I got that one. And then they pulled that one for me as well.
And another gentleman who's Sean Murphy signed for free and did a free remark without even asking.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So if
Very
you ever
cool.
meet Sean Murphy, feel free to ask him how the White Knight saga is going to end, and he will tell you. Spoiler, I know everything that's about to happen.
Oh, very good. We'll talk. And then I just picked up some back issues.
Nice.
Well, actually, this is a new one, but some of the ones that I didn't pick up from early runs. Chewie. These are all Star Wars related. Sorry about that.
That's a great cover.
It is. That's an actual cool cover.
Vader hates sand.
Crimson Rain. And then this was in the back bin box, so got that for a few bucks. And got this one for a few bucks. So that's it.
I didn't know that she had a book.
Yes.
What's up, JPG?
JPG has joined us. I got to see JPG in Toronto. We chatted a little bit about his upcoming comic book that's going to be released on Whatnot Comics. JPG, it was good to see you, my man. Thanks again for the promo card. And let's see, in like a 3-point. Yeah. I got to tell you, the White Knight stuff that Sean Murphy's doing is actually very original and very, very well done. With the stuff he shared with me and swore me to secrecy, it was fascinating to hear. I always enjoy it when creators get to do their own takes on characters when they have free reign. So DC Black Label is actually, to me, a wonderful, wonderful thing. I really hope Marvel mimics it and lets creators have a free for all.
No.
I know.
It'll
Hope.
never happen.
Keyword hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
First place, don't innovate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is true.
But we're getting close to the hour mark. I'm going to go around the horn. Rob, what's coming up on your channel in the very near future?
Well, tomorrow, which is the very near future, will be a Shop for Comics mystery box unboxing. And then this Saturday, you might recall, I do a show with some guy from Canada on Saturdays. And
Actual Dracula?
No. But he,
Kamikaze?
very uninteresting wall behind
All
him.
worthy Canadians, however.
No. We'll have Dustin from Two Brothers Comics on this week.
Oh,
Very good.
right.
So that's
Terrific.
pretty exciting. And then we'll go back around the horn to Monday and do some more on mail call. Just same old, same old.
Yeah, Cole, you do have a point. The Killing Joke was not canon, and all of a sudden is.
It is.
Mhm.
And JPG, yeah, Canada loves you.
Interesting though, Only Slabs is almost booked up now for the whole year.
Oh wow!
Accidentally, all of a sudden, had certain things came into play, and I think there's only a handful of dates left. So people that are interested in coming on this year, let us know.
Need to get JPG on it.
There you go.
The weekend,
I don't think his wife lets him hold on to that many books anymore, right?
That's true.
TW, what do you got coming up?
8:30. I'll be reviewing this steaming hot pile of greatness.
Greatness.
Tomorrow I'll be doing the thing that Rob loathes and reviewing episode 3 of She-Hulk, and then I'm looking if anybody wants to be on Unboxing Match and you've not been on before, hit me up on Instagram. It's kind of a when I book guests, I'll get them on there now. And then also at some point in the future, I'm gonna have whether or not he wants to be on JPG on my channel to talk about his upcoming comic Ninja Funk. It's not scheduled or anything yet. And then I think sometime next month, my goal is I'm going to try and read the first 50 issues of Saga and review it next month. So
I am surprised you have not. I know that you're a BKV fan.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you did not read Saga.
I read the first 15 or so issues and then I just kind of took a break from comics
because there was. The reason why I say this, you probably don't remember this, but one of the early times that you and I were ever on a live stream, we may have been backstage, and I mentioned Saga, and you said one of the most interesting characters that's been ever created was Lion Cat.
Oh yeah, I mean I've read the first arc, I just haven't.
Right.
I just didn't I got out of comics entirely, and so I just didn't. I'm not up to date on it, so I need to catch up on it. So yeah. But yeah.
Chip, my man, what's coming up on the White Shadow YouTube channel?
Nothing at all.
What's coming up, as the British would say, the controversial White Shadow.
No, I'm actually. I don't really have anything planned, to be honest with you. I mean,
it's a very laissez-faire attitude you have.
Exactly. Nah, whatever. I got nothing. So.
Well, there you are then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Take that, Chris, and make
take that, Chris. Yeah, exactly. Mr. 800.
You can't break through my Canadian niceness. What have you dropped recently, Chip, on the White Shadow YouTube channel?
I dropped a AOK that I received video games from Mr. Nix from Nix Kicks Comics. So that was very cool. That was a good AOK to get, and then a couple of action figure reviews, and so as well as some comics I picked up the other day. So, and
for Steve Birkland, if you are listening right now while you're at work, go check out the White Shadows AOK. I can guarantee you, the greatest superhero of all time shows up in a video game that Chip opens up. I won't spoil who it is. It's Spider-Man, but yeah, we all know. Anyways,
yes, that was very cool.
And if you want to say something bad about the Spider-Man video game, don't worry. Miles Morales is in that AOK as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Myself, I will be dropping a haul video of everything that I picked up at Fan Expo in the very, very near future. And it'll be basically me showing all the signed books that I picked up. And a couple copies of one particular Fan Expo exclusive. Hint, it's got nothing to do with Todd McFarlane.
Okay, so it's not the foily one.
I went with the wrong one, apparently.
You got an acetate cover? Good for you.
And if you want to see if it's acetate, make sure you tune into that video when it drops in the near future. And afterwards, again, everyone, thank you so much for helping me hit 800 subscribers. I will be dropping a video on what I'm going to be doing in celebration of hitting that incredible milestone number 800. And like I said, I do plan on having it be focused around a Grow Together initiative, spotlighting the 5 nominees for the under 100 subscription CBC award nominated YouTube channels. Did that come out correct? Anyways, you know what I mean. Anyways, everyone, thanks for spending a little bit of time on your Wednesday with us for New Comic Book Day. I greatly appreciate it. Chip, Taylor, Rob, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me on my YouTube channel tonight. As always, when I fire this up, I'm never sure who's going to show up, if anyone at all. With friends like you, well,
Maybe nobody would have been better.
Yeah. Well.